What's up, y'all? I'm back out here on the range, as you can see, on another cold, sunny day. Everything was frozen when I got out here this morning, but it's starting to thaw out, so it's gonna be a muddy mess with all the rain from the last couple of days turning back into liquid. But the show must go on, because I've got some good tests planned for out here today, and I'm gonna start it out with what should be some really good 38 special. So of course, I got the jelly contraption set up, ready to go with the chrono and 2 blocks of gel. Fresh blocks here, no test done yet, so all the jelly snobs out there about the tracks in the blocks, this is definitely going to be the test for y'all. Of course, as you can see, I've got the heavy clothing barrier on it with the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we're checking out once again is some Underwood ammo, this time in 38 special plus P. This is their 125 grain XTP loaded plus P. 1250 feet per second was what they're saying on the box. As you can see, as always, nice nickel plated case there with the XTP projectile. Y'all know I've tested some pretty weak 38 special plus P lately, namely that HTP stuff that I'm still planning on redoing out of some longer barrels, but hopefully this stuff's gonna be way better than that. And with the couple of tests that I just did from Underwood, I've got some pretty high hopes for it. And what I'm gonna send them out of today for a shorty, we've got the Taurus 856 with the 2-inch barrel. These grips on it, people always ask me about these grips. These are, I got these from Taurus's site. It's been a couple years ago now. They're made by VZ. They're G10 grips made by VZ, but as you can see, they're specifically made for Taurus. They got the bull on it. You can go to their site and get G10 grips in all kind of different colors. I don't know that these are specifically on their site, and I don't think they're on Taurus's site anymore. So I guess long story short, I don't think you can get this exact colorway grip anymore with the Taurus little bull on it, but you can still get some very similar from VZ. And then for the longer option, as you can see, we're going to use the GP100 with the 4-inch barrel chambered in 357 mag. But this should be a good way to start out the day of testing, because I'm expecting some good stuff from these. Let's get this set up and let's find out what they do. All right, let's see how fast these things are moving. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from both of them. We're gonna start with the 2-inch Taurus here first. Now, like I always explain about this lab radar, you're gonna see multiple numbers on your screen. Your large one's gonna be from your muzzle, and then you'll have 5 additional across the bottom, one set for 3 yards, which is where the gel is, and then you've got 10, 15, 25, and 50 out there. So let's see what we get from. Remember, the box is saying 1250. I really don't expect to see it out of this 2-inch, but Underwood's been on a roll lately, so let's see how close it actually gets. I expect this thing to breathe some smoke, I can tell you that much. 956, I was just getting ready to say, I mean, that didn't feel too strong at all. I mean, recoil or anything. That didn't either. 948. That one felt a little more. 1,000. That one about the same. 920. What is going on with this stuff, y'all? And 997. Now, disclaimer, I'm just going to tell you, this is the second group of 5 again that I tried to verify this again, and I got a couple of pretty low speeds out of that first group too, so there's no doubt in my mind this is completely valid again, but we'll see what it does to the Ruger. But first, let's see what this average was. All right, so sure enough, this stuff ain't hitting on much out of a 2-inch. 964 was our average, extreme spread of 80, and a standard deviation of 34.3. The highest we even saw was 1,000. That group I did before re-verifying this, that was about the same. I think I had like 1,020, 25, something like that. So definitely a far cry from the 1250. Again, I did not expect to see it out of this little 2-inch, so I'm not gonna get too crazy about that just yet, but that's definitely lower than I like to see. Let's reset it and see what the Ruger GP100 does. All right, let's see what doubling up the barrel does, y'all. 4 inches, I don't think we're gonna see the 1250 out of this either, and that's really a shame, because in my opinion, 38 plus P, I mean, that 2-inch is what people's gonna run 38 out of. But let's see what happens with this 4-inch, y'all. We won't discount it just yet. Yeah, that ain't strong. 1,023, this is not strong. I mean, it feels weak. 1164. That one felt a little better. 1207. Again, y'all can hear it. You can hear this stuff. What is going on lately? 1,074. That one sounded good, 1189. So you could hear it. I mean, it just all over the place. Now, again, blame it on what you want, but I can tell you right now, the last whole entire batch of tests I've done, and I can guarantee you the rest of them today, it'll be absolutely fine. So there's no doubt in my mind personally that all of this stuff right here is valid. But let's see what kind of average we got on it. All right, y'all, that time wasn't pretty at all either. We had an average on that of 1131, an extreme spread of 184, 79.2 SD. That's because we had a high of 1207 and a low of 1023, and you could absolutely hear it. I mean, you could absolutely hear it. Now, if you want to sit here and blame this on cylinder tolerances, sure, that's definitely a possibility. I'm not discounting that being a possibility at all, but it's out of both of them. Again, I'll probably put the first group through that 2-inch in here. It was very inconsistent as well, and it's definitely not equipment. I can tell you right there now, that's not even a chance. I think there's 0.000% chance, because I can feel it and hear it, and I'm sure, again, y'all can hear that difference through even whatever y'all are watching it on remotely. So anyway, 1131 average on this, and if you remember I had that 2-inch, it was 964, so you're only talking about a 67 FPS pickup between the two of them, so not a whole lot of difference. Now, there's probably enough difference to make a difference in the gel here if it comes down to that. I don't know. I think both of these might still do okay, just depending on what kind of velocity the one going into the gel is at. I'm very curious to see that for sure. So let's get this reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, a little delay of jelly time here, y'all. I want to run a group of just some regular old FMJ 38 I bought out here. This is just some PMC bronze 38 special, 132 grain, I think it is. A box is saying 917 on this. I'm not really caring about velocity. It's PMC bronze. I don't expect it to hit the velocity, but I want y'all to see what kind of spreads this is getting, not even close to that other stuff, and listen to the sound. They'll all sound consistent, I can just tell you right now. So let's see what we get from this stuff here. $863, $860, $854, $870, and $874. That was all five. Now, y'all tell me, look how close that was. I'll show you right here, right now, the info on that. So average of 864 when the box is saying 917, and again, that's regular old 38 special PMC bronze. Extreme spread was only 20, and the standard deviation was only 7.9. And I'll tell you right now, this is the second group I ran. I wanted to run one first just to make sure I wasn't out of my mind and something truly was wrong and I could explain that. And it got the same thing. I think the extreme spread on the first one was like 32 or something like that. So it's definitely not the equipment. It's definitely not the tools out here. Something's going on with that ammo. That ammo is incredibly inconsistent, and I don't think I've seen that from Underwood before. Y'all know we just had that Aria stuff that was way out of line, but I don't think I've seen it from Underwood. Now, that 180 10 mil that wasn't the XTP, those speeds were just slow, but I don't think they were all over the place. I think they were just plain old slow. But I hope this here right here answers any question that people still had, because I was pretty positive, but I don't want to leave stuff hanging like this, because I know that's going to raise questions, and rightfully so. I don't blame anybody for having questions, but hopefully this right here shows you. And again, this is the second group I ran. I didn't run the first one on camera, but I can sit out here and run that whole box, I'm telling you right now, and they'll be just like they are right here. With that being said, I'm still curious to see what we're getting in the gel here and what velocity the round that we send down here is going to have. So now let's get it reset again, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's this plus P ain't the one for me jelly time. I'm gonna put one from each barrel length into the gel, starting with this 2-inch first. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably saying this really ain't answering no kind of questions, and I agree with you, because I mean, it could be a high round right here, a low one, who knows. But I've got so much time invested in it now, I ain't just gonna scrap it. I might as well send a couple down in there to see what they do anyway. Let's see what happens with this 2-inch. I ain't expecting anything good. That's why I done this first, so it wouldn't go into the second block, but now I'm afraid of that. We definitely went into the second block. Let me go see what we got. All right, pretty much what I expected out of that stuff after doing the chrono. Nothing good at all. No even attempt at expansion and into my second block. Again, I always hope this stuff does well. Matter of fact, I try to plan my order based on how well I think it's going to do. And I just had high hopes for this. I just knew it was going to do nicely and stay in that first block. But as you can see, not the case at all. So, and that was even a little over 1,000 right there. So I don't know. This stuff just ain't it. It just ain't it. Let's see if this 4-inch can give it any kind of redemption at all. I think that one actually might have came out the side, and that's hard to believe because, I mean, I put it pretty far over. Let me go check what I got. All right, sure enough, y'all, that one went exactly where I wanted it to go, but took a hard left and went out the side. And that's really a shame because that was 1150, so still well short of the 1250. But it looks like, just from that disruption, it looks like it expanded on that one. Let's see if we can manage to catch one here. This is already making the day tricky as far as placing these things. I know that one came out the side too. I placed it exactly where I wanted it, but I know it curved too. Let me make sure. Yep, same exact thing right there. And that's really gonna mess my further testing up today. That was perfect placement. They curving out the left on me though. So I'm trying to keep from going too far right and getting my other space, but I'm gonna have to do it here. I'm gonna try to go back up a little high with this one. All right, that's exactly where I wanted to put it. I hope that one stayed in. Let me go see what we got. All right, let's check this mess out down here, y'all. I should have just called it after that first round. Honestly, I should have just scrapped this whole test after that chrono stuff because this is nothing but a hot mess down here. A bunch of big failures from all three of these things, or all 4 rounds I took, I have no doubt are failures after seeing this now. So this one right here, this is a little straight line out of that 2-inch. You might not be able to see it good. I'll pick you up and give you some angles because all of this disruption, all of this is tumbling. I know everybody's gonna look at that disruption and think, oh my goodness, you know, that's some massive blah, blah, blah. This is nothing but tumbling. I've talked about this before, but right behind that tumbling, that's where the one from the 2-inch straight line, I don't think it tumbled unless it kind of did right here or yawed a little bit because you can see the projectile stopped here, facing pretty much forward and absolutely zero expansion. No attempt even at expansion. And then going from there is where the mess really started because of all this tumbling. Now, I should have known with them curving so bad that was because they were tumbling. So you can see it comes in here. It fooled me with that disruption, but now that I see it, there's no doubt this was tumbling from both of these. They look pretty much identical. One went out here, one went out there. And then once I finally took the last one, it's right back behind this 38 Special. You can see it right there. All of that is from the same, the 4-inch, just like these two right here. It keeps on trucking into this second block, and there you see the projectile sitting backwards with, again, absolutely zero expansion. So let's see how far these things went. They all would have probably went about the same. The 38, or they're all 38 Special Plus P. The one from the 2-inch here, it went all the way out here to exactly 24 inches, maybe about a 16th short, but 24 inches basically. The one from the 4-inch that we kept is, again, exactly 24 inches. Those are both exactly the same. And then the other ones exited, this one at 15, the other one at 18. But I feel pretty confident saying if they didn't exit, they would have been right here with these other two. And here's your closer look from overhead, really just so you could see that. Well, you saw it in the slow-mo, I know. That's the one from the 2-inch right there. I'll try to move it so you can see just a straight line going all the way through into the second block, and there you see it. Nothing going on at all from that one. And then there's the one, the last one out of the 4-inch, sitting backwards. Again, nothing going on. All of this, again, is nothing but tumbling. That's the only reason you got any of that disruption right there. All right, let's check these projectiles out, y'all. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on them because, as you can see, there ain't a whole lot to talk about here. They did absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing. No attempt at expansion. This was from the 4-inch, this was from the 2-inch. If you look very, very closely, I don't even know if it'll come through on camera, but the opening on the 4-inch, I think you might could tell right there, it opened up a tiny bit more than this 2-inch, but nothing even close to what I would call attempt at expansion. Just very, very sad results from both of these. So I'll do a couple quick measurements anyway, just to see what we got there. I know we didn't lose anything. They started at 125. This one is at 124.8. And then this one here from the 4-inch is 124.7. So nearly exactly the same, and nothing lost from either of them, of course. And then as far as sizes, again, nothing there. I'll just measure the base and the length on them real quick. You got 354 on that one with a length of 557. And then on this one here, you got 352 there and a length of 558. So there you go, y'all, the Underwood 38 Special Plus P loaded with the XTPs. Terrible performance out of these things. Now, as far as the velocities out of whack, as y'all saw, heard with your own eyes, and I can tell you right now, I saw and felt and heard it right here in person. They were all over the place. So I don't know what's going on with that, but even if you take that and throw it out the window and don't trust that, they still did absolutely nothing. So this right here is just some more poor performance 38 Special Plus P that I sure wouldn't personally spend my money on. All right, y'all, I'm calling it right there for this 38 Special Plus P test that definitely did not go how I wanted it to. Terrible way to start the testing out. It's done filled up my block so bad, so it's gonna make all the rest of the test tricky to see and tricky to place the rounds correct, but it is what it is. Again, I could have just chalked it up at the beginning, but I at least wanted to see what they actually did, if they got up to speed, and they weren't up to the 1250 by any means, so it probably would take 1250 to get these little 38 rounds to expand. Usually I'm not surprised by 38 and a few other rounds not doing well at all, but this one genuinely surprised me. Again, I chose this for the first test because I figured it was going to do well, expand, fragment, whatever, and stay inside that first block, but I was big time wrong. Now, I feel like I have to mention this right here every time. I know I'm going to keep on getting the comments, even though I've said it over and over and over and over and over again. If you got these loaded up and you put them in the right spot, they're absolutely going to do the job, but this is not what you're paying for. I'm not complaining because it don't look pretty in the gel. I'm complaining because it's not doing what it says it's supposed to do. But let me know down in the comments if any of y'all actually have these loaded up for carry rounds, and let me know what you think about the performance you saw from them out here today. If you did enjoy the video, reach down and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you got your notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Check out those affiliate links in the video description if you're doing some shopping. Anything you buy after hitting up those links down there, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Once again, a big old thanks to my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got a few more interesting tests planned for out here today, but it's probably gonna bump me down to 2 more now after this mess right here. But stay tuned for a whole lot of good stuff coming your way, and in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.